Hello everyone, welcome to Diagnose It. Today we have this 74-year-old hypertensive male who presented with this bluish discoloration of the toes, as you can see here, this bluish discoloration, as well as this bluish discoloration is also there over the lateral part of the foot. And also the patient also presented with abdominal pain, and this all occurred 12 hours after the right coronary artery stenting. And there is a history of hypertension and hyperlipidemia. So this is our case for today, and let me tell you the diagnosis for this case is blue or purple toe syndrome, that is due to cholesterol emboli. So this is our case for today, and we'll follow our regular way of discussion. Like we'll discuss about what is this syndrome or this cholesterol embolization. Next is we'll discuss about why it occurs, how the patient presents, the diagnosis part, and in the end about the treatment of this disease. Firstly, starting with our what, basically this is a phenomena in which these cholesterol crystals that are dislodged from any atheromatous plaque that is already present, and they are dislodged due to this, as in our case, this right coronary artery stenting procedure, and in other cases, this dislodges after any kind of vascular or cardiac procedures. And that dislodged cholesterol particles, crystals, along with platelets as well as fibrin deposits, basically block the small arteries, and these small arteries get blocked and lead to ischemia over the distal areas. As you can see, this ischemia has developed over these distal areas, and this ischemia then lead to development of this blue color, or you can see the purple kind of color. And why this color is appearing, this is because of the ischemia. As you can see in Raynaud's phenomena also, this kind of color appears, and this is because the ischemia developed over this area, and also due to the inflammation, as these cholesterol crystals are kind of foreign body for that vessel. So around those cholesterol crystals, inflammation also occurred, and that inflammation is also having some kind of giant cells, and other mediators are also released there that leads to mechanical blockage of that supply to that area, and that mechanical blockage then lead to development of this kind of color over the peripheries. Well, this is not the only manifestation of this disease. There are a lot of other manifestations, like this disease is having GI manifestations, kidney manifestations, even manifestations related to eye and CNS. So we'll discuss about those manifestations. Now in our why, there are some risk factors. Like these risk factors are similar for the development of atherosclerosis, atheromatous plaque. And these risk factors include basically this diabetes mellitus, this presence of hypertension, this hyperlipidemia, like in our patient, male gender, this advancing age, renal failure. In a lot of CKD patients, this atherosclerosis is a major complaint, and also this one more risk factor is any kind of peripheral vascular disease. So these are basically the risk factors, and let me tell you, most of the cases, this blue toe syndrome or the cholesterol embolization, in around 80 to 90% of cases, this develop after any kind of procedure done, and the procedures basically include any kind of cardiac and vascular procedures like the stenting that occurred in this case. The other like catheterization, any kind of cardiac surgery like wall replacement surgeries, and some vascular surgery like this endarterectomy, or any kind of catheterization done of that vessel, and sometime even after trauma, this plaque get dislodged, and this development of blue and purple toe syndrome occurred. So this is our why. Now let's come to the presentation part, like how the patient presents. And I have already told you there are a lot of manifestations. Firstly, we'll start with the skin manifestations. And in the skin manifestations, as you can see, this blue and purple toes. The other is this development of livedo reticularis. And why this blue purple toes are developing? This is due to the development of ischemia. And due to that ischemia, some kind of ulcers and in the end gangrene may also develop. And these are also associated with a lot of pain to the patient. So these are the major skin manifestations. Now I have told you the other systems involved, like this kidney. In kidney, in acute cases, in the symptom by which the patient present is presence of pain, basically the flank pain. And in the laboratory test, what we can get is microalbuminuria, this microproteinuria, and microhematuria also. And in the chronic cases, this microalbuminuria may be even nephrotic range proteinuria. And also in the chronic cases, the FSGS may also develop. This focal segmental glomerulosclerosis may also develop in the patient. So these are the kidney manifestations. And now let's come to the next system, the GIT. In the GIT also, why the symptoms are occurring, this is because of the blockage of small arteries of the GIT, and due to the blockage, the ischemia is developing, and the main symptom by which the patient presents is the presence of pain, abdominal pain, like our patient also presented with abdominal pain. The other symptoms are like due to the ischemia, there can be some kind of perforation. Perforation may develop in the intestine that leads to bleeding per rectum, and even the melena kind of presentation. The other features are this can also lead to pancreatic or splenic infarct also. Like if the crystal dislodge in the small arteries of this pancreas and the spleen, And one more thing, due to this ischemia of the bowel wall, the bowel wall get irritated, and due to irritation, diarrhea. Diarrhea is also main feature of this cholesterol embolization. In the next part, now let's discuss about the manifestations in the CNS. And in the CNS, the symptoms are like this transient ischemic attack kind of symptoms, and also the amaurosis fugax, like this transient loss of vision for some time. This also develop, and this amaurosis fugax is it can be due to both this transient ischemic attack and also due to the this Hollenhost plaque, that are cholesterol crystals that when dislodged in the small arteries of this retina, then also may lead to development of this amaurosis fugax. And in the CNS part, sometimes the feature of spinal cord infarct, like the development of paresthesia and paraplegia also may be a presenting feature of this cholesterol embolization. Now, in the diagnosis part, let me tell you there is no specific test for the diagnosis, but the only thing to confirm the diagnosis is the biopsy. And in the biopsy, the main things that we can see is this like suppose this is an artery, this is small arteries, and in the cleft kind of format, this cholesterol emboli get occlude the artery. And also there is this hyperplasia of the intimal wall around the artery, and also the presence of some kind of giant cell. Giant cells are multinucleated cells around this area, and there are other features of inflammation like infiltration of neutrophils and even macrophages over that area. These are basic biopsy features, and the main thing is this cholesterol crystal occluding these small arteries. Now, in the end, about the treatment part, there is no specific treatment for this disease, but in starting, the main treatment are the supportive treatments according to that system. And one thing that we can do, we can stop the anticoagulations. Like the anticoagulants should be stopped. And some drugs we can give are the statins, because the statins basically stabilizes that plaque, that erythematous plaque. And the other drugs that we can give are these antiplatelet drugs, because due to the platelet aggregation also along with the cholesterol crystals, the aggregated platelets also blocks that small arteries. And if possible, like in the chronic settings, if there is a history of development of this cholesterol emboli syndrome, then further cardiac procedures and further vascular surgeries are avoided, because there is a risk factor for development of this cholesterol emboli. So further surgeries or some kind of vascular procedures are avoided. And the risk factors like the diabetes mellitus, this hypertension and hyperlipidemia, these are managed by the drugs. So these are the basic preventive measures. In the diagnosis part, we have left like some modalities that are currently available, like this MR angiography and sometimes CT angiography, and these are also sometimes helpful in the diagnosis. Like if we want to make a diagnosis without any biopsy, then we can rely on these MRI and CT images along with the clinical features that are specific for this cholesterol emboli. So this is all about this blue purple toe syndrome or cholesterol embolization. If you have any question regarding this, then do post it in the comment section, or you can also DM me on my Instagram handle at diagnoseIt. So this is all. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.